Let's talk about the all-knowing, all-loving tribal war god of Abraham, shall we? When the Israelites were wandering in the wilderness, which to me seems a lot more like a desert, they found a man gathering sticks on the Sabbath. Some uptight Israelites grabbed him and brought him before Moses to see what should be done with him. And the Lord told Moses he should be stoned to death. So that's what the people did. On another occasion, during the reign of King David, they put the Ark of the Covenant on a cart to bring it from the house of Abinadab, which was on a hill. Everyone knows you can't have the Ark in a house on a hill, right? That's just basic common sense. So, two of Abinadab's sons were guiding the ark elsewhere, apparently being pulled by oxen, which stumbled, causing one of Abinadab's sons to reach out and steady the ark. Well, can't do that, right? So that pissed off the Lord, and God killed him. Anyone remember Tamar, the wife of Judah's firstborn, Ur? Ur was a wicked son of a biatch, so the Lord killed him, leaving his brother Onan to do the dirty work of laying with his brother's wife, Tamar, so that they could produce offspring for Ur. Maybe God should have waited to kill Ur until they had a son, but that's not my call. Whatever the case, whenever Onan would lay with Tamar, he would spill his seed on the ground. So, can you guess what happened to Onan? Yep. God killed him. Of course, we all know the story that kicked things off, right? God planted a garden in Eden and then created two knuckleheads to tend the garden, giving them instructions about which trees they could eat from. But they didn't know good from evil, so a serpent convinced the woman to eat from one of the trees God instructed her not to eat from. And because of that, God cursed those two people and all their descendants to this life of evil and suffering. Ooh, I can feel the love. As many of you know, I am an unabashed radical fan of dogs. I truly believe that all dogs are my dogs, in that there isn't anything I would do for my dogs that I wouldn't do for any other dog. The second I meet a dog, I fall instantly head over heels in love. As you may also know, I lost my doggy soulmate Cookie back in June, and prior to that, I lost my gorgeous greyhound Juji 18 months earlier. It has been a rough 2 years. The last week of August, I picked up another greyhound to foster, which is what I'm going to do from now on. This sweet boy had been racing for probably about a year and a half. All he knew was the crate and the track. So when I got him, he was terrified of absolutely everything in the regular world. He anxious pooped in the back of my car on the way home and then spent 10 hours going through my house in an absolute panic. We were up and out 4 or 5 times that night between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. with his anxious tummy. He finally began to settle down after a couple days, and that's when I learned that he was an unrepentant food hound. He was a big boy too, so he could easily countersurf my kitchen looking for nummies. I was trying to break him of that when one afternoon I heard a loud crash coming from the kitchen. I'd left a plate on the counter with some food on it, and he pulled it down onto the floor, eating as much of it as he possibly could before I came running. Who am I kidding? I'm too old to run. I walked briskly. My first instinct, though, was not to be mad at him. What I cared about most was that he was okay, that nothing had fallen on him, injuring him. I told him no, with a bit of shame on it, and he gave me that sorry Unky Bri face. At which point I gave him hugs and kisses and lovin's and rubbins, telling him he was a good boy and that Unky Bri loved him. Then I reiterated, no counter, no up. At no time, though, did the thought occur to me, this dog needs to die. As many of you know, though you couldn't just tell from looking at me, I am not an all-loving being. I have the patience of Job because I've been married twice, but I'm still nowhere near having the patience an all-knowing, all-loving God should have. Throughout my boy's stay, I constantly kept in mind what he must have been through, having been a commodity and treated as such. All I wanted to do was give him the love and care he deserved and should always have had. In virtually every way I can imagine, I and almost everyone I know is infinitely morally superior to the tribal war god of Abraham, who is believed to be the pinnacle of moral perfection and followed as such by 60% of the people in this country. despite them knowing those stories that kicked off this video. Is there any hope for us when the God people worship can't treat us as well as we treat our dogs? Though to be clear, dogs really are the best species on the planet. Once again, I'm me. Thanks for watching.